Everybody wants to be their own boss. Nobody wants to be their own employee.
Did you have any low moments?
100%. This is one of my favorite things to talk about when it comes to discussing business ups and downs. Sacrifices that I went through, things that I said no to myself over and over, and the suffering that I went through, I know that that person haven't done this. When they ask me, do you think you're better than me? I said, absolutely I am. My thing is, first of all, when it comes to young age, I'm going to go back to your earlier question. When it comes to young age, my advice is try everything. If you still didn't find something that you want to do, whether you looking for something you love or just to see where the life will take you, try different jobs, different professions, because this is how you're going to find that one thing that you're going to be best at. If you're so stubborn and you say, I am, let's say, I'm a DJ and I only want to be DJ and that's the only thing I'm going to do, and you're so stubborn and it doesn't bring you anything in return, even though you put your time and effort into it, you have to allow yourself to step out of what you think is the only option, and you have to try other things in that age, okay? Because this is when you have the time for it. And so you try different professions and different industries, and there's gonna be one thing that you say, this is mine. I come here and I do this and it feels natural, and this is great. And that's the only way you find that one thing. I never was, a 10-year-old girl and thought to myself, oh, one day I will do, eyelashes. That will be the day. And it wasn't like that. It's because that's not how the life works. Even kids will tell you, I want to be a policeman or firefighter and stuff like that. And it's just at the moment you think that's your favorite thing, And so life changes, you change. And that's why it was so good in my case that my first job was in a flower shop, and another job was completely unrelated, and the next job was another unrelated thing. And you little by little, you say, okay, what is the next thing that looks better to me, that will give me more for sure, or most likely, if it's not for sure, so let me try that too. Because the best thing about being so young, you're not tied up to anything.
Yeah.
And so you can go and put a year, 2 years to try something. And that's how it brought me here. So all of a sudden I was 24 years old, and I was already doing at that time, I was doing real estate for about a year. And I started this as kind of like extra money, because this is a business. You can take your clients at home and it's very flexible. And I kind of like got sucked into it because I got really good at this, and Lashes chose me.
It's not a luck that you made it to where you're at. And I think the reality of an entrepreneur is that the beginning stages of it, you're very, how do I say it? You work very hard, but then the times that you're not working, you overthink if you're not working hard enough. And you're constantly in that battle. Am I working hard enough? And then the only way to cope it, let me work some more. And you're constantly in this until the seed, the fruit of your labor actually shows. And you're like, hold up. All this work finally makes
And then
sense.
it doesn't stop either. You're still gonna feel this way.
I would hope at least you see it. Like, I think the point that I'm getting is that once you see that first fruit, it's like, oh, okay, now,
Yes.
I see finally this. So it's making sense. It's making some sense. My question is, in order to bring that fruit to life, I think you have to become a different type of person. I think you have to become a sower. I think you have to change who you thought you were. What about you had to change to become the person that you are today?
You know what? This is actually a very, very good topic, and I think it's an absolute $1 million question. What exactly makes you a good entrepreneur or good business person? What makes you a successful person? And like you said, something now is that, you have to learn, or you have to realize, or what changed. And honestly, there's a lot of opinion about this, but my opinion is what it takes is the type of person that you are. And
What do you mean?
how I came to this conclusion is because I coach for business in my industry, and I speak to a lot of business owners, particularly salons. And I work with lash artists that I train just to be a lash artist, not necessarily own a whole business. So, and I do work with people that not necessarily going to be salon owners, but even if it's just a lash artist, just independent lash artist, you still have your own little mini business that requires certain functionality as a business person. And so, based on the interactions from just with different people doing different things, different difficulty levels in their business, you really can tell after a while when you speak to a person, when you have a conversation and you ask some questions, you can really tell. You can tell if most likely they're going to make it or not, if they have these qualities, the character to actually make it happen.
What are the qualities?
And that's the thing. I don't believe as an adult you can teach that. And, you know, as maybe not as hopeful as it sounds, because people do say, you know, you can learn this, you can learn how to do certain things to make money or to be successful, but you need qualities to bring yourself to do so and to stick with it. And the one thing that you can teach only when someone is very young age, as children, and it's not even teaching, is more of a training, is dedication. Because we also sold this other fantasy that, you know, you have to be motivated or you have to find motivation. And how do you find motivation? And it's all around that. And motivation is an absolute lie. It's a scam, because you're only motivated to do things when you are in a good mood or you have a lot of energy. When you're tired or when you don't feel good, you're no longer motivated. But what is it that going to make you do what you need to do anyways is dedication. And that is what a lot of people, unfortunately, especially in this younger generation, don't have. And I know it might sound very, you know, harsh and or maybe even offensive, but it is what it is. That we even have this little a set of words that we use here, Miami workforce, in sarcastic way. Is because, frankly, in Miami, particularly in where we are more centered, when it comes to hiring, it becomes more and more difficult. You know, and I see it because we even hire people for very short time. So it's 3 hours, 5 hours as models, for example, for eyelash extensions, and maybe to film some courses. So we need little extra people. And when I tell you that a person knows they're about to get paid, they still didn't show up. It is unbelievable. And without notice and without apologizing, nothing, they just don't show up. And this is not once or twice. This has happened so much. And it's typically the younger generation. This is typically in the early 20s or so. And it's a struggle. So what people missing for the most part is going to be dedication. If you cannot complete the simplest task as showing up somewhere that you already promised to be, and you know you're getting paid as well, but you can't even do that,
Imagine
you cannot do
rest,
anything else.
I was listening to a podcast. There's people that are flag carriers and there's people that are leaders. And it's okay to not always be a leader. That's why you have to have leaders in place. And then the rest, you have to trust in your leader to say, okay, look, this is a place. You may be a manager. That's okay. But everybody wants to be a leader, but doesn't want to do what it takes to become a leader. Meaning, when you say, look, it's about the little things. Just come up on time, stay true to your values, see the vision, stay true to the vision, and be willing to put your head down for 5 years, not get paid, and then talk to me. That is the biggest thing. That's rare, but when you find it, hopefully.
Everybody wants to be their own boss. Nobody wants to be their own employee. And what you just said is also something that it's in character at some point. It is in character. If
Hold on,
you
wait. That was like, everybody wants to be their own boss, but nobody wants to be their own employee.
Absolutely. And that's why people romanticize the business ownership. and they don't think they think it's going to be hard. They don't know how hard, and they're not ready for it a lot of times, and that's why businesses fail. But just back to what you just said, showing up on time and hiring and all these things, it's a character. It's a character. And when I say, the whole thing is, you think you're better than me, and I can tell you sometimes, I from the bottom of my heart, I say I am absolutely better than you, and I don't mean that I'm better than you and you just worse than me. That's not what I mean. What it means is, I know for a fact that I've done sacrifices that I went through, things that I said no to myself over and over, and the suffering that I went through. I know that that person haven't done this. That's what I mean when they ask me, "Do you think you're better than me?" I said, "Absolutely, I am." It's the struggle, it's the sacrifice, because that's what people a lot of times just don't know how to do. They don't have the ability. When you say show up and stuff like that, it's this type of person. If you hate being late, you just hate being late, period. Not just for money, for job. You're not gonna be late anywhere. You just type of person that already thinks, what is it that I need to do to not be late? I'm gonna get up earlier, I'm gonna leave the house earlier, I'm gonna get gas the night before. You're doing all of these extra things that lead you to that one little goal that doesn't seem so significant at the moment, just not to be late, but it takes effort. No thing is a little thing. All details are important. And this is why these monsters, the multi-millionaire people, write books like Make Your Bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what is this about? It's about when you do the little things, when you get to those details, do them, and also do them right. You're gonna make your own bed, make it right. You're gonna tie your shoe, tie it right. And so this is how you train yourself to be even better and to be more sharp and to be aware. You also mentioned luck. That is killing me, because luck is actually everywhere. What is luck? Is a combination of the right place to be in the right time, sometimes mixed with the right people. To bring as an example, the red car theory. Have you heard about that before?
Never heard it.
Okay, so have you seen any red cars today on the way here?
I
Maybe?
probably did, but no.
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Right. Now, if you were leaving your house and before you got on the road, I would have told you, for every red car you notice, I will give you $50. Would you know how many red cars you've seen on the way?
Gosh. I'll look for red cars.
Exactly. That's how luck works, and that's how the opportunities work. When you go through life and you're not looking and you're not aware, they're just passing by and you don't even notice. When you are aware and you always think, what is it that I can utilize? What is the next resource? Can this conversation or connecting with this person be somehow beneficial or help me in any way with any type of development? Not necessarily business. Maybe it's going to be just good for me, make me a little smarter, little wiser today. So anything it can turn into opportunity, but you have to be aware and you have to keep looking. And that's the red car theory.
That's powerful.
Luck
Did
is
you read that,
everywhere.
or somebody told you that?
I read that somewhere.
Read that. Oh my! What was the book that you read it from?
That actually I don't even remember.
That's very powerful.
But
I'm gonna
it's
look it up.
really
I'm gonna
good.
look it up. That's actually
really
that's
good.
interesting. A red car theory. That's how luck works. That's powerful. I think another thing of entrepreneurship that separates the 60% that fail and the 40% that keep going, and then the 1% that actually become successful and can live off of that, is the ability to be persistent and face adversity, in the sense of, I think everybody has low moments, especially in business. I truly believe everybody has a low moment.
Oh, that is a good one that you're going for.
So I do believe everybody has low moments, and stability to get over the low moments and be in the low moments and not actually believe that you are the low moment. It's a lot of words, but when you slow it down, it makes sense. You're not the low moment. The low moment is just period. learn from it, move on. Did you have any low moments?
100%.
What was the one that you were like,
And I
is
tell
there
you
light?
what that is exactly. This is one of my favorite things to talk about when it comes to discussing business ups and downs. First of all businesses gonna have that. No business in this world getting started and it just goes like this, up and successful. It doesn't exist, because if it did, everybody would be doing that exactly. And so it's important to understand that it will be sometimes great, sometimes it's going to be just stable, sometimes it's going to go down, sometimes you're going to be sitting there and asking yourself, literally questioning, is this my business disintegrating right in front of my eyes? It's going to be that bad as well. Now, business fail a lot of times because some people gonna have the breaking point when they're going to believe that. They say, okay, this is it, I'm going down. This is where this ship sinks. And that's how they stop. And so, how do I look at dealing with ups and downs and not giving in is actually a very interesting thing that a very good friend of mine taught me. Very wise person, one of the wisest people I've ever met. And he said, in one of my low moments, I called him crying. And I was scared. And it was things happening just all together. And I said, I'm really not doing well. My business is not doing well. And he told me something that snapped me out of it, and I will never forget it. He said, what you going through is an imposter syndrome. And I've heard it in different perceptions before. But the way he put it, boy, did that hit hard. And happens to everyone. What happens is, especially people that grow up with no money, that not used to success or used to nice things. And this is what happens. You start something, a business, and you get good at this somehow, and you make some money, and you feel really good about this, and now you feel more confident. And at some point when you make even more money, now you feel on top of the world. And that feeling of I will never go down is just something that I cannot even explain. It's a different type of high that the money gives you. Money doesn't only buy you nice things, it's the feeling. And so when things don't go as you would like them to go, all of a sudden, that broke person inside, in the back of your head, start telling you, excuse me, did you maybe consider that's not who you really are, what you tell yourself you are? One of the things that are important to remember is everything that you have, the amount of money that you earn, your surroundings when it comes to people, the place you live, the quality of your life in general, at some point, at some age, it's a direct reflection of your standards and your effort. Because somebody in your age is understandable. If there is still, you don't have exactly the job of your dreams or whatever that is that you're looking for, or certain earnings, and that's understandable. But at some age that you just said a little while ago, something like you need to have it going on by 25 or so, that you already grabbed on something. I'm kind of with that, because at some point when you're 30, when you're 35, when you're 40, and you still not where you want to be, is because you didn't want to go there. So you didn't take action, you didn't do anything for it. And that is very important, because if you understand that part, this is where that victim mentality goes away. You learn how not to blame anything or anyone for the position you're in or for money that you don't make. And that is very, very important. So if you just have that mentality that is on me, I got me and nobody else, because at the end of the day, I love to say it, Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. And this is the most important. And if you understand those things and you find something to do that comes natural to you, that you don't mind doing, and you get good at this, and this is your attitude that you go with year after year, there is no bringing you down. And I truly believe that if you do something and you get good at this, you're good at it in any profession or any industry, and you do it for a long time, and you know you don't back down and you don't give in when the times are hard and it's not as smooth as you wanted it to be, not as much money that you wanted to make, and you're still there doing it year after year, there is no way it's not gonna work. There's no way it's not gonna work. When you insist and you're really good, when you're really good at what you do, it's going to work. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes.
That's powerful.
It's simple, but it's not easy.
I think the moral of the story, the bow, stack your wins. Don't let don't get caught up in your losses, right? The cliches, work hard. You can't lose if you just keep going. You can't. It's impossible to quit.
And that's what life is.
Or it's impossible to lose if you don't quit.
And that's what life is. You know, when you sit there and think, I will be happy when I have this much money. I will be happy when I have this car. I will be happy. It never ends. The life is not about having certain amount of money or driving a certain car. Life is about life. It's not about happiness or love. It's about all of this together. You wake up in the morning, it's going to be a mixture, a chaos of combination of good things, bad things, and all taking turns and shifting into each other. And that is what life in reality. And you have to you wake up and you just hop on that ride and you do your absolute best today. That's what life is. Life is not meant to be easy or happy. It's meant to be everything. Money is hard to make. Life is hard, but all of that is what make it worth waking up. That's where the point is. If everybody would be killing it financially, everybody happy all the time, what would be the point? And that
is the
my
point.
conclusion.
That's the point. That is the point. I think that's an amazing way to end it off. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for making it to the end. And if you did enjoy it, I'm going to tag everything. Tag your academy, LashMakers, clothing brand. Guys, actually, you guys have to check out the clothing brand because it's actually insane. I'm going to get myself some today. You have some in the back or no?
I'm going to gift you a couple of things.
Okay. Check it out. Guys, truly, I really did. I hope that you drove some keys home.